الله وكفى وسلام على عباده الذين اصطفى أما بعد فأعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم لقد نصركم الله في مواطن كثيرة ويوم حنين إذ أعجبتكم كثرتكم فلم تغن عنكم شيئا وضاقت عليكم الأرض بما رحبت ثم وليتم مدبرين ثم أنزل الله سكينته على رسوله وعلى المؤمنين وأنزل جنودا لم تروها وعذب الذين كفروا وذلك جزاء الكافرين ثم يتوب الله من بعد ذلك على من يشاء والله غفور رحيم صدق الله العظيم وبلغنا رسوله النبي الكريم ونحن على ذلك من الشاهدين والشاكرين والحمد لله رب العالمين لقد نصركم الله في مواطن كثيرة. Allah has for sure blessed you with His help on many battlefields, many grounds. وَيَوْمَ حُنَيْن, and a particular mention is of the day of Hunain. So Hunain, it's a name of a place which is, Hazrat has written, 10 miles east of Makkah towards Taif. So the story of Hunain is such that after the conquest of Makkah in 8th Hijri, it was Ramadan, the Prophet ﷺ and the Muslims, Makkah was conquered. And then Quraysh were overpowered. So other non-Muslims, mushrikeen in the land of Arab, particularly the tribe of Hawazin and Banu Thaqif, which was a branch of Hawazin. Banu Thaqif is a famous tribe which was settled in Taif. Taif is another place which is to the east of Makkah. So from Makkah to Taif, it was a big tribe which has its branches spread all over the place, and is a strong tribe known and famous for their valor and their fighting skills. Their name was Hawazin. The people were called Hawazin. They said, and their leader was Malik bin Auf, who later became a Sahabi. But at the time of the conquest of Makkah, he was a non-Muslim and the leader of Hawazin. He said, and he gathered his people, and he said that the Prophet ﷺ and Muslims have overpowered Quraysh, which was the biggest hurdle in the way of Islam to spread out over the land of Arab and gain control over that. So now for sure they are going to come after us and come after each tribe that is spread out. So we need to, before they come for us, we should do a preemptive strike over them. And he gathered all his warriors from across the place, and it is written in Tafasir that it was, the final group was 24,000 people of non-Muslims who gathered to attack the Muslims. Now some ulama have said that Malik bin Auf, he had said that this is our life or death battle. So take your family and all your wealth to the battlefield as well. And the way he aligned his army before they faced Muslims was that every man would be standing, and behind them there would be all his life's wealth and their family. So they know that if they die, the Muslims are going to come after their family, and their family is not secure. And if they are afraid and they want to run away, they will not be able to run away, because they know that if they run away, all their wealth and all their families will be captured, made captives by Muslims. So this was his strategy, that everybody would fight to their death. So in this way he gathered 24,000 people altogether. Mufassirin have said that 4,000 of them were really people who would fight, and then other 20,000 were their families and other affiliates. So these people gathered to fight Muslims. The Prophet ﷺ got news of it, and the Prophet ﷺ prepared an army. It comes that they were roughly 16,000, if I remember correct, on the Muslim side. And this was a great army for Muslims too. That Muslims had never ever had such a big army that was going to fight on their side. Allahu Akbar. So, and to equip this army, the Prophet ﷺ asked the Quraysh for arms. So their leaders, some of them said that, are you going to, now because you have overpowered us, are you going to take these things from us by force? The Prophet ﷺ, although he was the conqueror at that time, he said that I'm not going to take it by force, but I'm going to take it as a loan from you, with your permission, with your pleasure, if you want to give it. And I promise that I will bring it back to you, I'll return it to you. So the Prophet ﷺ's army was thus lent arms by the Quraysh. And then this army of Muslims marched towards the Kuffar. Some have recorded 12,000, but this was basically a number greater than 10,000. There was Ansar, mostly Ansar, and then there was some people who had turned to Islam after the conquest of Makkah. They started to march towards the enemy and went to the place of Hunain, which is a valley 10 miles east of Makkah. At that point, the Prophet ﷺ's army was so big that for a little while they had this particular thing in their heart which is called ujub. Ujub is that someone looks towards their own self or their skill so much, they are so engrossed with it that they forget, or their focus or their sight shifts away from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. This is called ujub. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ, that day of Hunain where you did ujub over your number, over your large number. إِذْ أَعْجَبَتْكُمْ كَثْرَتُكُمْ فَلَمْ تُغْنِ عَنْكُمْ شَيْئًا, it did not help you one bit. So looking at the size of army, Muslims said, some of the Muslims had this thought, or they said this, that today nobody can overpower us. Nobody can overpower us. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala did not like this. And inshallah we'll talk about the exact happenings of this battle tomorrow. But basically the first attack of the Hawazin was so strong that Muslims started fleeing. And they had also placed, because they were very expert fighters, expert warriors, and they knew the strategy of war. And this is Malik bin Auf radiallahu anhu, who was a non-Muslim at that time, had said this as well, that these people have conquered, overpowered Quraysh. Quraysh don't know how to fight. So now they are overconfident. Muslims are overconfident. They think that they can overpower us. When they face us in battlefield, they will know what is a true warrior. So what they had done was that they had made an army lined up against the Muslims, and they had also hidden multiple groups to surround the enemies, because they were ready that Muslims will run away. So they had also placed some hidden secret groups. So as Muslims started to run away, they were also attacked. Even as they were running away, they were attacked from all sides. So it was a very, very tough situation. And the Prophet ﷺ and a very certain close group of Sahaba was the only ones who were marching towards the enemy. All the others were running away from the enemy. So at that time, there is several narrations in the side stories to this. There's a, how much time? 0. So anyway, so the Prophet ﷺ, 8 minutes? Okay, so we do have 2 more minutes. There is this Sahabi who, so there was a lot of people who had gone with the Muslim army as spectators. That they said that we will accompany this army. They were non-Muslims. And deep down they had this desire to hurt and harm the Prophet ﷺ and Muslims whenever they found a chance. So this person called Shayba bin Usman radiallahu anh, he also went with the army in such a way that I'll go with this army, and when they are overpowered, or whenever I get a chance during the travel, I will na'uzubillah kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So, and there was other people, their stories are Nazar ibn Haris and other, their stories are written that they went alongside the Muslim enemy just as spectators, not fighters, in an effort, in a chance that they find an opening and they harm the Muslims. So Nazar, Shayba ibn Usman radiallahu anh, he has said that I was traveling and I saw that the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, when this situation happened, that Muslims were running away, and I thought that this is a good chance, I'll go and kill the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. So I went and tried to attack him from his right, but there was Abdullah ibn Abbas radiallahu anh to his right protecting the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Then I went to the left, and there was, I think, some Sahabi named by Abu Sufyan who was protecting the Prophet ﷺ. So I thought that I'll attack the Prophet ﷺ from the back side. And as I was approaching, the Prophet ﷺ said, Shayba, come here. The Prophet ﷺ said, I was approaching him towards his back. The Prophet ﷺ said, Shayba, come here, come to me. And I basically lost control of myself. I went to him. The Prophet ﷺ put his hand on my head, on my chest, and said, Ya Allah, take these feelings away from his heart. And as the Prophet ﷺ did that, I raised my eyes, and at that moment the Prophet ﷺ became more beloved to me than my eyes and my heart and my hands. And I was this one moment before, I was on the verge of, my dearest wish was to attack the Prophet ﷺ and take his life. Right the next moment, I took my sword and went out in the ranks of enemy, laying down my life for the Prophet ﷺ. I was ready to lay down my life for the Prophet ﷺ. This is called tawajjuh. The Prophet ﷺ, and this is a dalil that the Prophet ﷺ used to affect the hearts of people through his spiritual strength that he had. It is several points in the life of the Prophet ﷺ is mentioned. Sayyidina Abu Hurairah radiallahu anh, Sayyidina Umar Khattab radiallahu anh, this person Shaybah ibn Usman radiallahu anh, they have said that the Prophet ﷺ would place his hand on her chest or raise his hand for dua, and immediately everything would change for us. So the Prophet ﷺ made this dua and it had such an effect. Anyway, so this person has said that these people, there was a very close circle of the Prophet ﷺ that was guarding him, all others were running. The Prophet ﷺ had Abdullah ibn Abbas call out to the people that where are the Sahaba who pledged, the Ansar who pledged to fight till death with me along my side, and call the people who have been mentioned in Surah Baqarah. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has mentioned them in Surah Baqarah. Where are they running away? And then tell them that the Prophet of Allah is still fighting. The Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam is still fighting. So that gave the Muslims a strength, and they started to come back, and then finally the victory was given to Muslims. Inshallah, we'll read more detail about it tomorrow, inshallah. So this is the teaching here, that don't look at what you have. Tawakkul is that have everything ready as much as you can, but the reliance and the trust and the focus, your sight should be on Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. That success or victory or our things that we have, they are going to bring effect by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, by the command of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Inshallah, we'll complete the tafsir of these ayat, inshallah, some more tomorrow. ربنا تقبل منا إنك أنت السميع العليم وتب علينا إنك أنت التواب الرحيم وصلى الله تعالى على خير خلقه سيدنا مولانا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين آمين برحمتك يا أرحم الراحمين.